Hello everybody and welcome to the very first episode of the year of Muz and the Chefs. How the hell do we end up here? Episode number 29.
First of 2020, but 29.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And that doesn't include the lost episode which we put up yesterday. So, do you want to tell them a little bit about that?
No,
Okay.
completely I don't, because, they think you're the consummate professional and we're just going to leave it like that.
No, I did say that. I fucked up. So, yeah, there you go.
Was that the one where the camera went and then we had to look at the other camera and then that went?
No.
Was that a different one?
No, that was a different one. I think we just went to audio for that one. Yeah, so anyway, yeah. So
if there's anybody out there with lots of technology who wants to sponsor us, send your money and equipment to... Underlined. Oh, you didn't do the thing.
What? Yeah, no, I was getting there. I was waiting for you to shut up. All right, so as each week, ladies and gentlemen, if you could like our page on Facebook and give us a comment and a like on there, also on YouTube as well. If you could subscribe, give us a thumbs up and press the notification bell there. But I really haven't put in any time into the YouTube channel. I do it all. I just do all Facebook.
I know, because there's one person in my life watches it on YouTube and goes, I got the new ones up, and goes, no, it's not. No, it's not. And then I have to message you and you go, I know it's not up.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
You can probably back off a little bit on that microphone. You're blowing
Don't tell me to fucking back off. I haven't even started.
So if you're going to start ranting, you might need to put it down a little bit.
I might have to move it to the next room. I don't know, let's see what your subject is.
Anyway, so...
Moving swiftly along.
So how was your Christmas?
It was fantastic,
and how's home?
Home was fantastic.
Home, i.e. being Ireland.
I know, it's strange because it's home, but it's not my home anymore. You know what I mean? I feel like a tourist. I feel like a tourist in my own city.
You feel like a tourist?
I feel like a tourist in my own city. I still love it. But, yeah, it's home anymore. I don't know. It's weird. I've been out here a long time.
Yeah, but you went there...
Last year
as well. It's like when I hadn't been to Queensland for like 10 years, I've turned back up and lots of stuff had changed. But they're still Queenslanders. Still Queenslanders.
So anyway, how was your Christmas? What did you do?
Yeah,
did you
pretty good.
Fast?
Pretty uneventful, really. Just,
didn't have a heart attack or anything like that and made it through?
No.
Okay.
No, nothing like that.
Pretend heart attack?
No, not even a pretend one. Not even a pretend one.
So I didn't miss anything?
No. No, it was pretty uneventful, really. It was good, though. It was good. You caught up with the kids and stuff, so no, it was all good. Anyway, so without further ado, we are going to hit this week's topic, which has been a hot topic for actually longer than I realised. I did a little bit of reading up on this last night, not a lot.
Good. I hate it when you read up on it and then you go, "That's wrong." And I go, "No, it's not. I'm going to make up my facts here."
So it's been going on. I think since maybe even before the 80s, but I think from the 80s. But that might be a fact check. But Coley's gone to Queensland or something, so that's not going to help. But yeah, we're going to talk about should we change the date, and this will be good of Australia Day. Should we change the date for Australia Day? Now, I think this is a good topic for someone from your perspective, because, and I'm not being rude, but you're not an Australian citizen.
No, I'm not.
You weren't born here. You have been here for quite some time, so you do have a bit of a unique perspective on this topic. So, what do you think? Do you think it should be changed, or what?
This is a hot topic, isn't it?
It is. This week I'm thinking, well, we'll hit the, Australia Day's been and gone. People have got fucking, attention spans of 48 hours.
But Australia Day is the same day as the National Independence Day of India. We don't celebrate that either, do we?
But why would you? We don't live in India.
I know, but I've got a question.
Okay.
So, changing the date.
Yes.
If Australia was to become a republic, they should pick the day Australia became a republic and have that as Australia Day, because that would incorporate everybody that's here at the time.
That is a bloody good idea.
You like that?
Yeah, I actually do like that idea. I think but we have to become a republic first.
Yeah, but you see, every part of the community that's eligible to vote would vote in that decision. So the decision would be by the people. Yeah. So on this day, this is the day we became the Republic of Australia. Let's celebrate that day.
No, I agree. I think that's I've never thought of that before, but I think that's a fantastic idea.
And that's the end of this week's episode.
I think that's a great idea. But
I can see how people would call it Invasion Day. I can understand that 100%, completely. And I can also understand your white immigrant Australian wanting to celebrate on their day. I think a better day would be Anzac Day.
Yeah, that's Anzac Day was going to be something that I was eventually going to bring up, because for me, I'm going to come straight out and say it, and I don't give a fuck what you think. Not you, but everyone out there.
You don't give a fuck what I think either, let's be honest.
I actually am not much of a fan of Australia Day and never really have been. And I think maybe the reason is this, and it's not a bleeding half lefty perspective, but yet maybe it is. But I always said, well, it's a day when, you know, one race was basically enslaved and the other one, you know, that was the beginning of the end of their culture.
Yeah.
So for me, it's never been... To me, it's a little bit like New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, apart from the fact that I used to get paid triple the amount for doing a gig on New Year's Eve. That's the only thing that I like about New Year's. It doesn't have a lot of meaning for me. So, and that's the same thing with Australia. It doesn't. Not that I don't love Australia, because I absolutely do. But I just, I don't know. I don't like. Yeah, I might go to the beach and whatever, see some friends.
I'll ask you a question.
Yes.
When's American Independence Day?
4th of July.
Do you think an American know what day Australia Day is?
No, probably not.
What's St. Patrick's Day?
So I don't know the actual date of St. Patrick's Day.
17th of March.
Yeah, okay.
So that's celebrated worldwide, like Independence Day is celebrated worldwide.
Is Independence Day so? It wouldn't be fucking celebrated in the UK.
Why not?
Why not?
They love them.
Yeah, but they fought wars against each other to get their independence, hence Independence Day.
Yeah.
Not the movie. Not the movie.
Not the movie.
Not
a bad movie.
It's pretty cheesy.
He gets to punch the alien in the head. It's like, welcome to Earth, motherfucker!
Yeah.
That's the picture we want to portray to any aliens wanting to come and visit.
Yeah, but they're assholes.
Oh, aliens?
Yeah, in the movie.
Oh, right. I thought you meant in general. I thought it was, have you met one? Or you're married to one? I don't know. Like, what's going on? Oh, here we go.
I was going to go there, but you went there before me. So
hi, Michelle.
Hello, darling.
I
Shit, my microphone's fallen down.
I think it should be changed, but not until
From the Republic.
Yeah.
See,
because otherwise you're going to have disagreements. You're going to have split community.
Yes.
Which you already do.
Yes.
So something has to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So in the Constitution, the last time you guys voted on anything, not the last time, but the Aboriginals were not allowed to vote for a long time, weren't they?
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure when.
So if we were to vote on a republic, they would have a say in the constitutional setup of this country from here on in.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that is the big difference between Australia and New Zealand, and I think that's why the Maoris and the white New Zealanders, or European New Zealanders, get along so much better than European Australians and in the Indigenous population. Because I think their constitution and all their laws and things, I'm not sure what their special day is, but it's all very inclusive with the natives, for lack of a better word. So the people there when they moved in, when the Europeans moved in, and they do everything together. Even the second verse of their national anthem is in Maori. Yeah. So I think that's why New Zealanders get along with each other a lot better than we get along with, because there's this fucking division. But realistically speaking, I'll just, before I make this point, before you go on, is that Australia Day really technically should be the 1st of January.
Why?
Why? Because we were declared a federation on the 1st of January.
Do you know why that never happened?
1901.
Do you know why that never happened?
Because it's New Year's Day.
No.
Yeah, because people want more public
holidays. That's exactly right. You get 2 public holidays in January.
If we amalgamate the days,
we lose
a public holiday.
Yeah.
Fuck, can't be going doing that.
Oh my God. This is tragic.
See, is this public holidays?
Hold on, just wait 1 second.
Okay, yeah,
this is very tragic and also exceptionally funny. So if you laugh at it, you're a bad person, but I did.
So I'm going to probably laugh at it.
Yeah, there was a woman died on Australia Day this year in Queensland in a Lemington eating competition.
Yes,
she
I did hear about
to
that.
Death. So
I know, isn't that shocking?
That's terrible, but
I don't think I laughed at it, though.
You just did now.
No, I did hear about it. I think Michelle read it to me from the news. Yeah.
And you go, that's terrible, but, put the Lemington down, step away from the bench.
Yeah.
I don't know, Australia Day, I've got, as an immigrant, I've got more respect for Anzac Day. That's probably going to get me in shit, but I do.
I've always preferred Anzac Day over Australia Day because it was the first time Australia kind of came together as one sort of people.
Yeah. And
we went out on the world stage and fought in this World War, which we fucking should have had nothing to do with anyway. I did want to get really into it. But, I don't, when it comes to Anzac Day, I don't go to the service because of war or taking sides. I go for the diggers,
Yeah.
that did go there and put their lives on the line. That's why I go. It's not the political side of it that I go. But no, I for me, Anzac Day is so much more of a patriotic day, I think.
So
and I did read that somewhere too.
Who picked the 26th of January? Whose decision was that?
No, it's... Well...
Somebody obviously decided.
Well, no, okay. So I did do a bit of reading on this, and so a lot of this is going to be a bit vague, but basically...
Welcome back to our podcast. It's either made up or vague.
Oh, but see, this is the thing, too, which I'm going to get into as well. So 26th of January...
Oh, we're in trouble. Did you see the fingers out? Fingers out.
No, but... so 26th of January is when the First Fleet, captained by... led by Arthur Phillip, sailed into Port Jackson, so in Sydney Cove, and set up shop. They were already in Australia. They were already in Botany Bay, but they said, this place is fucked, there's no water, we can't grow crops here, there's just shit, we need to find somewhere better. Hence why they ended up in Sydney, was to become Sydney. So the 20, that's why.
Okay. Do you think, if that was the first settlement, to say, of white folk in Australia, why isn't it the capital? Like, why did they move to...
Well, that was an argument between Melbourne and Sydney. So it was an appeasement. Yeah, from my understanding, the reason why Canberra came about, or the ACT came about, is because there was, when they went, okay, we're a federation now, we need to have a capital, where's it going to be, Sydney or Melbourne? And they were just fighting with each other, and so the government just went, well, fuck, what are we going to do? Okay, what we'll do, we'll create another fucking territory, and we'll set up the capital there.
Right.
So that's how sort of Canberra came about, to my understanding.
Why is your Houses of Parliament basically on a massive roundabout? It's a roundabout.
Yeah. It's because the architect Billy Griffin.
Burley.
Yeah, he was an American architect who also designed Washington, I believe. That's a fact check, but I think pretty sure he did.
Was an Irish guy designed and built the White House.
Oh, really?
It's built. It's a copy of the Houses of Parliament in Dublin.
Oh, I did not know that. There you go. But one of the things when these fucking idiot left-wing protesters get out there and they go, 26th of January is the day that Cook came to, landed in Australia. No, it fucking isn't. Learn your fucking history, you idiots. What the fuck? I think only Cook...
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm a history buff. I'm a history buff. So when people talk shit, I mean, it was the same thing, when protesters were dumping bloody, paint on Cook statues and shit like this, which was just a complete copy of the American thing they were doing at the time anyway. But Cook never really even came ashore. They ran aground in Queensland somewhere, but he just sailed up the fucking east coast and mapped it all out. I don't think he even... No, doesn't. Actually, that is a fact check. I should look at that. But I'm pretty sure
I'm a history buff, and then you went, hold on, I'm not sure.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the case. Because his mission was to map, not to settle. And because it was Captain Arthur Phillip and the First Fleet and his entourage that settled Australia. So this has been tattooed in my head since school. 1770 is when Cook fucking sailed past and mapped the East Coast. 1788 is when Australia was founded as a penal colony.
Okay. And all us Irish were sent out here.
A lot of Irish.
To build it for you.
Yeah. A lot of Irish. And a lot of everybody. But I think it was more of a... Well, the Irish side's a little bit more political.
Yes, it is.
But if you were, English, Scottish, or Welsh descent, it was probably because you fucking stole a handkerchief or a fucking little bit of butter or something just to stay alive. But that's a different story altogether. So yeah.
Are we back to this? Hey, isn't it funny that Cook met his death and how it happened to him?
Yeah.
He got cooked.
He did get cooked.
That was funny.
Oh,
I like
I
that.
see.
The Tahitians? Was it Tahiti?
It was in Hawaii, wasn't it?
No, I don't think it was Hawaii. I'm pretty sure it was Tahiti or somewhere like that.
Yeah. But the thing about that is, one of the things that people don't understand about how Cook was they had an argument. Yeah, because they initially thought he was...
Who had an argument?
Well, between Cook, his crew, and the natives of... I thought it was Hawaii. And Hawaiians. Or wherever it was.
Polynesians.
Let's just say Polynesians. But anyway, when they say, they cooked Captain Cook...
That's great.
But
if I was ever going to bring out a brand of frozen food, it'd be called cooked food.
But what people don't realise is the way that they actually... What they did with his body, they did for their chiefs.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a punishment. They saw him as a rival chief. Yeah, that's fair enough.
So they ate him.
But the way that they disposed of his body was actually something they did with a lot of their chiefs.
Okay. So there was a little bit of respect.
There was respect there.
Maybe he was really tasty.
But initially they loved him. They thought he was the best thing. So, and the other thing too.
Fingers out again.
When Arthur Phillip sort of settled in...
Excuse my ignorance, but I don't know this guy at all.
Captain Arthur Phillip?
Yeah, I've never heard of him.
Okay, so you got the first fleet.
You see, I've been here 20 years and all I hear is cook, cook, cook. This is the first time I've heard this name.
Yes, and this is the problem. This is why people are uneducated about the founding of Australia.
Teach us all, Muz. Teach us all, Muz.
Because people say, when Cook came to Australia, it's fucking nothing to do with Cook.
Okay. All right.
It was fucking...
I believe you.
Almost 20 years later.
We're not talking Bohemian Grove, so I believe you. Philip, so... What was his name? Colonel Philip, Admiral Philip?
Captain Arthur Phillip. So
he was only a captain?
Yeah.
Wow.
He'd become Admiral eventually, I think.
Okay.
But
did he ever get away from Australia? Did he land, set up and go home?
He went back home. Yeah, he went back home. Yeah.
Did he ever come back?
They actually commemorate him in the cathedral at Bath in the UK. When we were there, we saw a little thing on the wall.
Beautiful place, Bath.
Yeah, awesome little town. City, I don't know how big it is.
Township.
Whatever, village. It's pretty big,
It's
really.
a city.
It's nice place. Lovely place. But
we digress.
Yeah, we do digress. But he was just in command of that mission. And one of the things that a lot of the, I don't know about all Indigenous tribes, what they used to do, part of their initiation, one of the things is they'd get their front tooth knocked out.
Okay.
As a part of initiation, and Arthur Phillip had one of his front teeth knocked out just through war, battle, or whatever it was. So when he came and he met with the Indigenous population at the time, and if you don't like these people, fucking look it up. You know, this is a fact. They actually saw him as a chief, or as
one of them.
Not one of them. But he saw
a leader.
Because it was just one of these coincidental things. You know, like saying that having our teeth knocked out is a sign of
poverty.
No. As a sign of power or of being a leader. They saw the same thing in him because he had his knocked out as well. So it's just a lot of the stuff. It's so politically incorrect to talk about things that the Europeans and the Indigenous people did do together. Yes, there was some fucked up things, but yes, there was some good things. And you just got to read your history, and that's a lot of stuff that isn't very well known. But there was a lot of cooperation, a lot more cooperation than people think. People just think that the British turned up and just shot everyone on sight. That's just not true. And Arthur Phillip...
That was the usual method.
Because it was their usual method, and it is true.
What are you, natives?
And Arthur Phillip, believe it or not, was actually under strict orders to create good relations with the natives when he got here.
Okay.
That was his orders. So you could probably look that up online.
That's a bit silly. You said he's got to make friends with the natives when he gets here. First of all, they didn't know it was here. And secondly, they didn't know it had natives.
They didn't know it. They knew it was here because Cook had been here.
I thought Cook came after. No. Cook was first, and then Phillip.
Cook was sent.
And Captain Phillip was second.
He did 2 expeditions of the Pacific, from my memory, and one where he came to Australia. He was actually tracking the path of Venus across the sky, and in at the Pacific somewhere, I can't remember exactly where it was. But part of his mission also was to map New Zealand. So he sailed around New Zealand and mapped New Zealand, and to map the eastern coast of Australia. That was his mission. And then he fucking went home.
Okay.
So that was basically it. No one settled here in 1770. What happened?
Get your facts right, people. Learn your history.
Well, when the American Revolutionary War happened, because what was happening is the British were sending their convicts to America.
Yeah.
That's about 30,000 British convicts went to America until the war happened, and America went, fuck off, we don't want your convicts anymore, you have to put them somewhere else. So they knew about Australia by then, and they went, we've got to get rid of these lowlives, so we've got to send them somewhere.
That depends. If you're the flat earther. Unless
you're a flat earther. But on top of that, they wanted to get hold of it before the French did.
I thought it was the Dutch that were out here.
Oh, look, well, Abel Tasman, sailed around Western Australia.
Van Diemen's Land doesn't sound very English.
Yeah, he sailed around Tasmania, hence why it's Van Diemen's Land. But, what was I going to say?
Wow.
Well, there's talk about the Portuguese already had been to the east coast of Australia. The Spanish had already been here. That's a bit of a conspiracy theory. There is a little bit of evidence to back that up. But one of the things that a lot of people don't realise is when bloody Arthur Phillip and the First Fleet decided that Botany Bay was a shithouse bloody place to go, there was bloody French warships, or French ships, waiting to come in. They sailed out. They sailed into Port Jackson, and the French fucking came in. La Perouse. That's why it's called La Perouse down in Sydney.
Okay.
So, you know,
Pay attention, people. There'll be a test later.
Yes, there will be a test. But if you want to rag on history and you want to change Australia Day, which I'm not opposed nor for, because I'm kind of a bit ambivalent about the whole thing. But I like your idea.
I think it should be changed just for the sheer fact that it causes division.
Yeah. But is it going to cause division anyway?
No, I don't think so. Like, let's put it on Valentine's Day, so everybody can have a public holiday on Valentine's Day and share the love.
I like your idea. When we become a republic, which we bloody well should.
Yeah, make Republic Day the day of Australia Day.
Yep, I reckon that would be awesome.
And change the day to the day of Republic Australia.
I like it.
The Republic of Australia or Australia?
But you've still got so many monarchists that live in this country, and those people we don't like.
I know. I was talking to a Canadian.
I took a big breath. I think I got all that out.
Did you? I was talking to a Canadian. One of my cousins has gone out with a Canadian boy. Young, they're only in their early 20s, and we were talking about this. Not about Australia Day, but about the monarchy. This is when we're back in Ireland.
Yeah.
And he said it's actually growing stronger in Canada at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, they're embracing it more and more and more and more, especially because of what's her name, the North American girl that married the young guy.
But is she Canadian?
No, I don't think she is. But
I didn't think she was either.
But because of her and I don't know, the renewed interest, they're actually becoming more and more monarchistic. Monarchistic. Yeah, right. I just made it my own word.
No, that's bad. No, don't do that. Yeah. That's just silly.
And
we need to get away from these inbreds.
That's a terrible national anthem. Oh Canada, oh Canada. Sorry, Canada.
Well, it's better than God Save the Queen.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So I believe the date should be changed because.
So what is the Irish? Sorry, I interrupted you there.
That's okay.
What is the Irish national? Is it St. Patrick's Day? It is St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that's it. We don't have another day. That's it.
And just for uneducated people like me, what exactly did St. Patrick do to deserve this honour?
Oh, he was supposed to have brought Christianity to the island.
Yeah, that's what I thought that.
Yeah.
And killed the snakes.
Killed the snakes, yeah. He got rid of all the snakes.
Or is getting rid of his snakes symbolic?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was told that by somebody once. Yeah. I said, no, it had nothing to do with snakes. The snakes are symbolic. He got rid of the snakes.
Anyway, St. Patrick's Day, it's celebrated in Ireland and all over the world.
It is.
On the 17th of March. And it's got nothing to do with religion anymore, just like Christmas Day is celebrated by pagans. And everybody,
pagan first anyway.
Everybody gets presents and everybody puts up lights and trees and all that shite. So St. Patrick's Day is now a celebration of everything Irish, not just of a Catholic saint. That makes sense?
Yeah. But I didn't know that it was the official Irish Day for Ireland. Sorry, national.
Well, we
day.
don't have another day. Well, it's like the St. Bridget's Day as well, but nobody knows about that. I can't even remember when it is. Sorry, St. Bridget. I'm going straight to hell now.
Doesn't matter. You lapsed.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
if you... All right, you're in charge, right?
Don't put me in charge all the time. Why do you always do this?
Because this is the only way I can get an opinion out of you. Otherwise, you just skirt around and sweep around the thing going,
I think I made my opinion pretty fucking plain.
No, you didn't. You went, I'm in favour of moving it, and I also don't care if we don't move it.
Well,
that's what you said.
Well, I think because it doesn't mean a lot to me. And the reality is
it's not all about you.
Oh. Oh, isn't that what my wife says to me? It's not all about you, Murray. Oh, thought it was.
No.
Can't see the planets revolving around.
Come on, get to the point.
Well, look, the 26th of January has, contrary, a lot of people say, but it hasn't been Australia Day the whole time either. No, but it has constantly been celebrated. Mainly...
How long has it been Australia Day?
Officially, since 1901, I think.
It's been the 26th of January since 1901.
Yeah. Officially. And that's Australia-wide. So before that you had, like Melbourne would have their special day, Adelaide would, when I say Melbourne, I mean Victoria and South Australia and Western Australia, and they'd all have their own special day. And 26th of January was very much New South Wales' special day because that's where it all happened.
I've been out here over 20 years and it's never been as big or as controversial. It seems to have got bigger in the last...
It's getting bigger.
In the last 10 years, it seems to have exploded.
Bigger. Australia Day is getting bigger. And hence the protests are also getting bigger.
Yeah.
So... When I was a kid, that's what I mean. Maybe it wasn't a big deal when I was a kid, so it didn't stick in my psyche as much as like you say, things like Christmas and Easter.
But even Triple J have moved their hottest 100.
Day. Oh, really?
Yeah, the Triple J's hottest 100 used to be on Australia Day the whole day, the whole time. Now it's the day before.
Well, One of the things I said on Facebook to someone the other day, and this, and again, whether you fucking like it or not, it's fucking true, is that there's nobody alive now who made these decisions, back in the early 1800s.
But nobody, the party that made the decision would still be in existence.
No, we were ruled by the British back then.
Well, then change the date. So it's a British day.
Well, it is.
We were ruled by the British. They gave us this day. Well, so you're now subjects again. You're now being told what day to celebrate. Think of it that way. Britain has told you. Shush! You just told me it was the British Parliament. Britain has told you what day you can have to celebrate, and you're.
Well, it would have been originally. Well, was it, or was it the colony of New South Wales that and the government who was in charge?
So that party
who was a representative
exist.
Of the UK Parliament anyway, would have been.
So the Governor General of today.
Well, you had governors back then, so one of the most famous governors was Macquarie. That's why everything's fucking named Macquarie around here. Lake Macquarie, bloody.
Which is not a lake. Which is not a lake.
Port Macquarie. So university, etc., etc. So
Mrs. Macquarie's chair.
Huh?
Mrs. Macquarie's chair.
What was that?
It's a place in Sydney. It's just there just under the bridge near the Opera House.
Okay. I don't go to Sydney very often.
Wow.
But
nice.
But yeah, so you had these governors who were in charge of the colony. So the colony of New South Wales was massive in its day.
Like it was half the size of Australia at one stage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was basically the entire East Coast. So there was no colony of Victoria, and there was no colony of Queensland. They came later. So but basically,
so they're not true Australians. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying.
Let's get a division here. Let's start a division.
In the really early days, it was really only Australia and Van Diemen's Land. New South Wales and Van Diemen's Land.
So Queensland has basically annexed itself from New South Wales.
Yes.
Should we invade and take it back?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's a beautiful place, I hear.
That's lovely.
That's lovely. Moving on.
Yes. No. Well, I don't know. What I was saying before, there's nobody that is alive today that made these decisions. You know what I mean? The decisions have been made. The decision to send the first fleet out here in the first place, that wasn't anyone alive who was alive now's decision.
But it would have been a royal decision, wouldn't it, to send somebody here?
Parliamentary.
So which is connected to the royal family.
Oh,
everything goes back to this.
Yeah, well, it does, but it doesn't. I mean, I think the monarchy sticks their nose in when it really gets a bit out of hand, but realistically it was the Parliament that made these decisions. Even the independence, the War of Independence in America was, the whole argument of, taxation,
the Tea Party.
Boston Tea Party, but, the taxation without representation. So the Americans were being taxed the shit out by the UK Parliament, but, they were getting nothing in return. So that's why they were pissed off, understandably so. But my point I'm trying to get to is that all this shit that's happened in the past is nobody's fault who's alive now. But you do have these traditionalists and, dare I say, conservatives that want to keep all this stuff.
So they say tradition is peer pressure from the dead.
That's brilliant. I love that. That is, and it's so true. But once this belief system is set in place, it's very hard for people to break out of that.
Change. It's hard for people to change.
Yeah.
There's a security.
It's like
there's a security, and it's going to be there tomorrow. It'll be there the next day. It'll be there the next day because it was there the day before that, and this time last year. So you can see the comfort that would give some people. Some people embrace change. Some people hate it.
Yeah.
That's But we have to amend these things. That's why we have things called amendments. So we can go right. This was the decision made then. It doesn't really relate to where we are now as a community and a society, so let's change it. But these councils in Melbourne that went ahead and changed the date by themselves and didn't recognise it, that's wrong.
They did, and they got, which just doesn't seem like a big deal to me, but it might be to them. They got stripped of their powers to hold citizenship ceremonies, and there was one in Queensland too, from memory, what I read last night. So. Look, see, this is where the whole bleeding heart lefty thing just goes nuts. But hey, you've started this with a great solution as far as I'm concerned. I think it's a great solution. And they can be for everybody, all Australians, regardless of their colour, creed, or
and if people
ancestry.
still wanted to celebrate on the 26th, let them.
Okay,
but that's not the official day.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't strip them of.
But I'm going to open a can of worms here, which is going to piss some people off, and I'm not going to apologise for it. I was about to say I'm sorry, but I'm actually not sorry. Okay, yes, the Indigenous people were treated like shit. It wasn't government mandate, and if you don't believe me, look it up. A lot of... Where are you going? Oh, you're leaving me for a monologue?
I'll be back in half an hour. Let me know when you're done.
But I think... And yes, they suffered. But you also got to think
you can't put a but at the end of that sentence.
You can, because do you think that the convicts who were sent out here in the First Fleet wanted to fucking be here?
No.
They didn't want to fucking be here.
No.
Like, the Aborigines probably didn't want the Europeans to be here. No. You know what I mean? So
just like we don't want the Muslim community moving in now. That's why they're all on a Christmas Island. No, it's the same thing. Not Muslims. That's incorrect. That's wrong. But refugees.
Refugees. That's more specific.
Middle Eastern refugees.
He's learning.
There's supposed to be a filter between here and here.
But when you look at one of my ancestors was a convict on the Byfield side. So Robert Byfield, he was sent out here in the 1830s, and I think he forged something or something. That's why he got sent out. Other side of my family were free settlers, but but I don't identify. I don't say that I'm those people. They're their own people. They did their own thing. They lived their own lives. I'm just a descendant, and I just carry their fucking DNA. You know what I mean? That's really the only thing I've got. I might look like them. I actually fucking look severely like some of my ancestors, strangely enough.
Neanderthal, were they?
Yeah, Dennis Evans. Which actually Australian Aboriginals carry the most Denisovan DNA in any race on the planet, which is interesting. But the problem I'm trying to get to is that don't tell me that the convicts didn't fucking suffer. When you look into convict history...
but you can't compare that. You cannot compare that.
Why
That's
not?
Unfair.
They got fucking hung. They got flogged.
Yep.
They got fucking rations taken off them. They lived in squalor and shithole. Tell me, how is that any different? At least the Indigenous people could live off the land. They knew how to do it.
Yes, this is correct.
The fucking Europeans didn't know how to do it. If you fucked off... I mean, some Aboriginal tribes did take in escaped convicts, and others used to send them back to the fucking...
Convict.
Yeah, they capture convicts and send them back to the colonies and stuff. So that happened in Port Macquarie. There was a famous thing. I can't remember the one of the chiefs' names up there, and they sort of made him a bush constable.
Constable.
Yeah, that's what you call him, a bush constable. And they said, "Here's a musket. If you see any convicts escaping, shoot him." And he did.
Did you get paid for this?
I don't know. Probably paid in some way. They used to give them, oh god, this is going to bring up things, but they used to give them
alcohol.
Blankets and tobacco.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they gave them alcohol.
Okay.
Because alcohol, was that a commodity back in the day? So tobacco, blankets, and some things like that. So,
do you think they'd have learned anything from the North American Indians with blankets from the British?
Yeah, well, I mean, they did the same thing out here later on, but that,
Chemical warfare.
Yeah. Giving them...
Pox.
Yeah.
Pox-ridden blankets.
With fucking diseases on them. It's just horrible. And that happened here too later on. See, a lot of the atrocities, from my understanding, happened to Indigenous people through landowners, like people who were granted land and things like that. There's a really famous case, the Mile Creek Massacre, and these stockmen, they killed everybody.
Yeah.
Men, women, and children, and then lumped them on a fire and burnt them all. Yeah. They didn't get away with it.
Imagine that.
They were strung up for what they did.
Do you wonder what that would smell like?
Bad.
Or barbecue.
It would not smell very good. But my point I'm trying to make is the if you were a convict,
you weren't better off.
You weren't any better off. The only difference between, if you want to talk about like Irish, in the early days, being white slaves and things like that, and it's convicts sent to Australia were essentially white slaves. The only difference between a black slave and a white slave, so the black slaves that they sent to America, and the white slaves that they called convicts were sent here, was the Europeans could go to court.
Yeah.
They would be heard in court, which was always in the government's favour anyway, generally speaking.
How unusual.
So, they could have legal representation, but that's the only difference. They still lived in shitholes, they still had to work for nothing, so it wasn't a lot different. And in some ways, no, I won't say that, because I might cop a flogging for that. They're as bad as each other. Let's just say that. But the suffering of the European convicts was pretty fucking bad too.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things at this time last year in Tasmania that we learnt with the female factories were these places women would go and they'd be like a jail essentially, and they'd make things like nails and small products and things like that. But the girls would they'd be sent out to Australia or Tasmania. Not part of Australia, sorry Tassie, but they'd be sent there, and they might be sent out to work for a free person, and the landowner may shag her on the side. She falls pregnant. The minute they fell pregnant, they had to go back to the female factory. So when they got sent back to the female factory, they have their baby in the female factory under horrible conditions, and they couldn't keep them. Yep. They were orphaned out.
Same thing happened in Ireland.
So
it's the exact same thing. I can't remember.
And a lot of them were Irish.
Yeah,
there was Irish convicts.
There was I can't remember. There was a place in Cork where they used to send all these. As soon as you got pregnant, you were sent there. You stayed there through your pregnancy. They kept the baby, and then you got shipped out again.
Yeah, and if they knew that you were a child of a convict, you were treated like fucking shit.
Yeah,
that stigma of being in. Actually, I've never really. When we were there this time last year, I never really knew this, because around here, if you say you've got convict ancestry, people go, "Oh, well, good on you," that's really cool.
Get us a beer, mate.
Yeah, but in Tasmania, for a long, long, long time, if you were descendants of convicts, you were just shit. God is great and we are shit. It was really, really bad. So, and that stigma, even years later, generations later, oh, you're from a convict family.
In Ireland, they had the thing called the poorhouse. So if you were too poor to pay your rent to an English absentee landlord for the farm you owned beforehand, you went to the poorhouse. So you went to the poorhouse and you worked and you got fed. That was it. You lived there till you died. You worked there till you died. And that was it. If you didn't, most people who went in didn't come back out. And,
I can see a lot of parallels. You might not want to see them, but I can see the parallels. Yeah. Like I said earlier, the Irish were sent out generally because they were political prisoners. And you had from.
Well, you've got the right to remain silent. I'm Irish. I can't.
But then you had the English, Scottish, and Welsh convicts. They didn't fare any fucking better.
So, if you look at the 26th of January, it could be called Convict Day.
It's a fucking shit day.
It could be called.
This is why I don't particularly like it.
But you just said earlier. You've changed your mind in this conversation.
I don't like it, but I'm not going to get upset. There's a reason. Okay, I don't like it, but I'm not going to go on marches to change it. That's the difference. Because as I said, I'm probably ambivalent towards it.
Apathy.
Good Australian fucking
trait.
I don't give a fuck. As long as I get the day off and have a couple of beers.
Yeah.
Go fishing.
Down the pond. Creek for yabbies.
So I have no idea what time we're at.
Neither do I.
This ranting and raving.
But, I disagree with the day. Excuse us 1 moment while we check the time.
No, we're only 40 minutes in.
There you go. I don't know if you should change the day. I think you should. But then again, people are going to go, well, you don't get a fucking say. You're not one of us. So, but if
what do you mean you're not one of us?
I'm not an Australian.
Oh, you?
Yeah. If Australia was to become a republic tomorrow, I'd be the first person with my hand in the air going, make me a citizen, please, now. I love this. I love this country. This is a great country. It's a great country. Otherwise, I still wouldn't be here.
Australia. I absolutely love Australia. But
the connection to the royal family, doesn't go down. Doesn't sit well with me. So
nor with me. And I was fucking born here, and I was brought up to sing fucking that shit when I was at school.
There you go.
And the Queen used to be on the wall in your classroom and fucking crap like that.
There's still clubs in Australia where she's on the wall.
She's on probably every club wall.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Bowling clubs, everything like that.
She probably is. And that's what I mean. And this is this legacy that they've got. And I just don't get it. See, that's why I like the American idea. Fuck them off.
Yeah. Let's put Elvis in the place of the Queen. Let's go around. Let's start a movement, breaking into clubs. Not a break in, go in normally, and just find the picture of the Queen and cover it with an Elvis poster. I'm not even an Elvis fan, but it was the first name that came to mind, and I'm sure you can get the right size.
So who would be an Australian you could do that with?
Which Australian would you put in place of the Queen? Probably Dick Smith.
Dick Smith?
Why not?
I was thinking Slim Dusty.
He's dead.
So?
I'm thinking of someone who's alive.
Oh, okay. Right.
Because I thought that's
Governor General? No,
No.
he's still part of it.
No, yeah.
Put the president up there. We need a president.
Yeah. So who are we going to go for president? Who are you going to elect? Doesn't have to be a political person. Your president doesn't have to be a political person.
Well, that's it.
They don't have to be affiliated with either party.
If Australia, my understanding is if Australia does go down the path of a republic, it will be similar to Ireland and other republics. So
they're rubber stamp people.
There'll be a prime minister, then there'll be it'll be like the Governor General, just under a different name, essentially. And so ceremonial, basically.
So
we've talked about that before.
The president of Ireland's a guy called Michael D. Higgins.
Yeah.
And people love him.
Yeah, you were saying.
He's unbelievably well loved. Sometimes he travels around Dublin on like the public transport system. You don't have the security guy, but he'll just shake hands and talk to people. And they banned this festival of music and fire festival. The government banned it, and he disagreed with it, so he went out and lit the first fire.
I like him.
So he's really one of the people, and he's really loved.
Yeah,
so you need to find someone like that out here. Like
so who's the Prime Minister of Ireland at the moment?
Leo Varadkar. Oh, the election's this weekend.
Okay.
He's the son of an Indian immigrant, and he's openly gay.
Yeah, well.
And he's
getting your TARDIS and go back fucking 30 years with that one.
Yeah.
In Ireland.
Yeah, he's Prime Minister of Ireland.
Oh, I was talking to Michelle about that last night about how
progressive.
Yeah.
So who would you have? Like, who have you got in this country right now that's not a divisive person, but somebody who would bring this whole country together? I've got a perfect person.
Who?
Ernie Dingo. I don't know anybody who doesn't like Ernie Dingo.
Yeah, true. I like him.
You tell me one person who doesn't like Ernie Dingo.
I actually haven't seen him like in the public eye for a long time.
Yeah,
I like him.
He's waiting to become president. Let's start a movement. Ernie Dingo for president. Why not?
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Who would disagree with me? Come up with an option. Give me an option here.
Oh, I've got no one. I've got nothing.
No,
I've got nothing. No.
You've no famous Australian in your head.
Angry Anderson. No.
That might be slightly divisive.
Because I didn't realise he is actually somewhat prejudiced. That guy.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. He was going to run for Parliament in the Cessnock local. Not local.
Peter Garrett.
Peter Garrett, no.
Yeah. He left.
Yeah.
Far too left.
But you see, they don't have to be. Maggie Beer.
Who?
Maggie Beer.
Who's that?
Oh, forget it.
She's a sports person?
No, she's not.
Oh, okay.
She's a celebrity chef. Cook person, right.
Right.
Has a farm and is all into the organic and that sort of stuff.
You don't like people like that?
No, but I can see why I could see how. This is not about me. Growth here. Personal growth. It's not all about me today, right now.
For once.
But yeah, I think Ernie Dingo, I don't know anybody who dislikes Ernie Dingo. I don't know anybody that's like particularly a big fan of him either. He's kind of...
Yeah, well, I haven't seen much.
He's kind of beige.
But he used to be on one of those comedy shows, and he used to have a thing.
He was a travel guy.
Yeah, but I did do that after. He was on for like Full Frontal or Fast Forward or something. Yeah. Well, years ago, and I used to do a spot on that, and I have actually seen him. He was also in Crocodile Dundee, wasn't he? He was in the movie. I'm
not sure.
Was. I'm sure when he's got the telephone out, what they call the original telephone.
The Bush Telegraph.
Yeah, whatever it was. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, I'm sure he was in that. Okay. I'm sure he was.
But see, he'd get my vote. The Republic of Australia, led by President Ernie Dingo.
Why can't we just all fucking get along? So this is the problem. There's too much fucking division.
We're putting people in power that are causing division. Scott Morrison's a fucking tool, right?
Yes. I can't.
But if you look at the other side, what's his Anthony Albanese? I
don't know who the fucking opposition leader is.
Anthony
I don't
Albanese
even care anymore because he's not a comedian.
No, he's
at least Bill Shorten was funny.
Oh my God. One of the bushfires, he goes, that wouldn't have happened if I'd been elected. He said that.
Yeah.
And you go, wow, you tool.
That may have been taken to be out of context.
Why? How's that? If I'd been elected, policy would have been in place and this bushfire wouldn't have happened. Yeah, but you might read a headline that says, fucking Bill Shorten says blah, blah, but did he actually say it? Oh. Go back to something that somebody did say. Israel Folau. Remember Israel Folau?
Yeah. Anyone that watched the Lost episode yesterday knows exactly who we're talking about.
He got hired yesterday for the Catalonian Dragons, a French rugby league team. Right? So he's now playing rugby league in France. And his first game is against a team in Britain. I can't remember which team it is. But they've decided that that's going to be their Pride Day. Get that into you, Izzy.
Oh dear. Well, I think we've done Izzy for real to death. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Izzy for real.
Well, he's gone now. He's now French.
Has he moved there?
Yeah.
I guess he would be. He's playing there.
Yeah. Anyway, so we need someone who brings the country together.
Absolutely.
Go for my policy for the big river.
We have an engineer that wants to come on the show and talk about that.
I know. I think we should get him in.
I think we should too. Don't forget Collie to...
Yeah, well, we can make that happen. We can make that happen. We'll have to get on the microphone. We'll have to share the beer.
I got a couple more.
So, Ernie Dingo, president, change the date to the day we become a republic and he becomes president. We could have it as a joint, see, at the referendum, so instead of having two things and costing the country lots of money, we have the referendum and the election process for president on the same card. Do you want to be a republic? Yes. Do you want Ernie Dingo for president? Yes. Put it up. Who would you put against him? Who's going to beat Ernie?
But I can tell you one thing now.
I'm going to go out and find myself an Ernie Dingo t-shirt.
See, and I hate to speak ill about this, but my grandparents were quite racist towards Aboriginal people.
Yeah.
And when I look back, even in my childhood, the racism towards Indigenous people was pretty fucking bad. It's nowhere near as bad now as what it was 20, 30 years ago, which is a good thing.
There's still an undercurrent with older people.
Oh, absolutely.
But they're also the monarchists, so we need to kill two birds with one stone. So if anybody's
they're the ones that voted for Brexit.
Anybody that's out there that knows Ernie Dingo,
thereof.
who knows Ernie Dingo, is connected to him, is on any of his pages, can you let him know that we've put him forward for president, and if he'd like to run, can he please contact the show? Thank you.
So when did Ireland become a republic?
Oh, see, there's a long process there.
But when was it?
1940s.
Okay, so that was when it sort of.
We had a thing called Home Rule before that, and then there was power sharing before that. It was a long process.
Yeah,
but the official was 1940s. We became the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's not so long ago.
No,
that's World War II time.
And we were talking about this before the show, and I shared that story with you yesterday about the Irish Holocaust thing, which, by the way, people, is fucking true, whether you fucking want to believe it or not. And that guy gave you the thumbs down.
Yeah, he did.
He'd get fucked, and he's read his history. But that movie, is it 1850? 1840?
Oh, yeah.
That was really good.
The Ned Kelly type character.
Yeah, he was very Ned Kelly, but it was all about that era where you had all these English landowners that
absentee landowners.
Yeah. It was exactly the same thing here in the Hunter Valley. Yeah. You had these absentee landowners who had jobs in Sydney or worked in Sydney, had all this land up here, and they had convict overseas to run it, and they were never fucking here.
Yeah. Well, the Irish thing, what happened was you had your farm, right? You had a farm with, say, 20 acres. I don't know. I have no idea of size. And then
obviously, when I talk about the big river.
I know that's big. So they invaded and they went, no, that's not yours, that's ours. But you can still farm there, but you can give us rent, but we're not going to be there. It was like, what?
That's similar to the American dilemma as well, I suppose. In a sense. Well, they were being, like I already said, they were being taxed to the shit house without, Britain doing anything for their money.
Yeah. I'm still racking my brain about who would represent you as president of Australia. And you threw up Angry Anderson, who's... that
was a joke.
But musical and Peter Garrett, there's two musical people that you've thrown up.
Well, they're two musical people.
And Slim Dusty, you keep throwing up musical people from your field.
Well, you did the same thing with that chef.
Yeah, but that was only after Ernie. There's only...
Yeah, so Dick Smith is good, but Dick Smith is actually quite anti-immigration.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah, look at some stuff that he's talked about. He wants to cut immigration to Australia.
Yeah.
So,
But these people don't have any say in this, so it doesn't make any difference.
No.
They're just somebody who could...
did you see?
Can you imagine? They represent you on the world stage. They go to places and they meet people and they represent Australia on the world stage.
Yeah. But it's just, if you want to talk about celebrities sticking their nose in politics, it's exactly what Ricky Gervais said at the Golden Globes. Did you watch that? Yeah. That was so fucking funny. And he's absolutely right. We don't want to fucking hear the opinions of actors and musicians and blah, blah, blah.
Come up, collect your awards.
Fuck off. Yeah, collect your awards. Thank you, God, whoever that may be.
And your agent, and fuck off.
We don't, that's the thing with, it's because they've got, it's like Jimmy Barnes, for example. Jimmy Barnes, president, how about that?
No.
But anytime there's a political thing that's, and I'm sorry, but it is quite left-leaning most of the time, is they'll bring Jimmy in.
Ray Martin.
Oh, good old Ray.
Ray Martin.
Good old Ray.
He could be president.
No, I haven't even heard anything from Ray Martin for a long time. I don't know. I got no one. I got nothing.
You do.
I've got nothing.
It's your subject.
I don't like the drongos we've got now.
Yeah, nobody does. Nobody does. I guarantee you, if it wasn't obligatory to vote here.
Oh, that's a big word.
I know. I've been reading while I've been away.
Obligatory. So
Yeah.
you're obliged to do it.
Yes.
You get a fine.
Yeah. I reckon if that wasn't the case, 50% of people here wouldn't vote.
Oh, I wouldn't.
50%
So,
wouldn't vote, and then they'd be able to bitch about whoever went in.
This is me on any election day or any day, referendum or fucking state, fucking local, whatever. Oh, fuck, I've got to go and vote. Fuck.
You're a 4-year-old having a tantrum in a supermarket on the floor going, "Ah!"
Because it's a pain in the ass. Because, like David Icke says, no matter who you vote for, the government still gets in.
Yep.
Doesn't fucking matter. It's all the same shit.
Well, you can vote for independence and then you can just have fucking chaos. Like, independents do great things
Yeah,
for...
but they don't make deals with the major parties anyway.
Yeah, but if it was all independents, they'd have to make deals with each other, wouldn't they?
Well, true. Jackie Lambie.
Yeah, she's a champion. No. No.
But I'll tell you what, she just holds the fucking... I want this. And she fucking gets it.
Yeah.
How the fuck does she do it?
Well, she's a swing vote. Swing.
Yeah.
Jackie's a swinger.
But she says, I want this for Tasmania. You know? And she just holds out until they fucking... Okay, Jackie, we'll give you
They put her on a date. She was on a dating show.
Did she buy sex toys for her staff for Christmas one year?
Yeah, I think that was her.
I like her. No, I don't really. She's rough as guts, isn't
Yeah.
she? Fucking hell, oh my God.
She was in... She was in the Clive Palmer party. That's how she got elected.
She started in the Palmer party.
Big old Clive, hey? The love child of, Big Kev and Donald Trump.
Oh God. Have we got anything else to say about this?
No.
I think I've sort of...
I think the date should change, and I think it should change when we become a republic.
I like that idea. I am totally in agreement with that. I'm totally on board with that.
Cool.
Yep.
Thanks for playing. See you next time.
Okay.
All right. Bye.